Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. I wanted to share something with you guys that I thought was really interesting. I'm not going to be on here for that long. I just wanted to talk about this really quick because I think it's worth paying attention to and gives us something to kind of think about and analyze. I was reading this article in Time Magazine, and on the cover of, or in this article, they basically have mentioned that the Chinese government has actually banned Ratchet hip hop from the airways. Like they've literally actually taken that step of saying, that some of this stuff, I don't think it's a complete hip hop ban because we know the hip hop itself overall is not a completely, destructive art form. It can be. It's very powerful. It's a very powerful art form, but it's being used for destructive reasons in a lot of corners of the world. And so basically, in this article that I'm reading, from time.com, basically what they're saying is that China has banned hip hop culture and actors with tattoos from appearing on television. So, they're kind of getting it wrong, of course, right? They're throwing all the hip hop into one category. When we know that all of hip hop is not ratchet and destructive, but we do know that, there's no way to really defend some of the music that we're seeing in terms of how it affects kids. They said the country's top media regulator, the State Administration of Press, Publication, Radio, Film, and Television, now, quote, specifically requires that programs should not feature actors with tattoos or depict hip hop culture, subculture, non-mainstream culture, and dispirited culture, decadent culture. Now, this is really interesting. So basically, they have a list, of just kind of telling them, what they want to see on TV, the kinds of images they don't want their kids to see. There's a rapper that was forced to apologize after he made a song that was promoting drug culture and insulting women. I thought this was really interesting. I wanted to share that with you guys to kind of get your take on this. As you know, I'm a big fan of hip hop. Hip hop is my favorite form of music, but I'm also a bigger fan of Black people, and I'm a bigger fan of education. I'm a bigger fan of Black intelligence and Black productivity and Black capability and Black potential. And I don't think that we can sit around quietly and kind of, act like this stuff doesn't affect our kids. We got kids graduating from high school who can't halfway read, and everybody wants to say it's the school's fault. And yeah, it is the school's fault, but actually at the same time, nothing stops your child from opening their cell phone to read a book. But they don't want to read a book because that's not what the culture is. If the culture, if the culture influenced them to want to read more, they'd be reading more. But they don't want to read because they want to, pretty much imitate what they're seeing all around them. And so, what I kind of wanted to do is lay out a couple of things that we can kind of process with this. And again, this is not anti-hip hop. I want to make sure this is clear because I have a lot of some of my best friends are rappers, as people would want to say, right? I do actually have a lot of friends that are rappers, and I'm cool with most of them. Well, we're cool with all of them actually. But the ones that I'm not friends with, that I refuse to be friends with, are the ones that I think sort of believe that if a white man's giving you enough money, you should sell your people up the river. If you're getting enough of a paycheck from from some corporation, that it doesn't matter how many kids you get addicted to drugs and you don't have any responsibility. That's the part that really bothers me, is when the artists will act like they have no responsibility for what happens when their music is out there. Like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like whenever you run a company or run a business, what's going to happen is that if you become the boss, you're going to have people in your company who are like that. Like if something goes, let's say you run your company and you do a business deal and the business loses, $20,000 or something like that. So you're mad. You're like, what happened? Why did we lose that money? And what's going to happen is you're going to have a couple of people who are going to feel that it's okay that the company lost money as long as they don't get blamed for it. That's what happens with Congress. Congress, they don't really care about the country. They only care that you blame the Democrats instead of blaming them, or that you blame the Republicans instead of blaming the Democrats. That's all they care about. They're not really thinking about the country at large. They're thinking about making sure that when the house burns down, that somebody else gets blamed for it. So with hip hop, we have a huge lack of responsibility problem, where we have a lot of artists who really truly want to try to act like they have no influence over the youth. They want to act like kids ain't listening to them. They want to act like ain't nobody paying attention when they rapping about Molly, Percocet, drinking lean, getting high, you know, having sex with 10 million women, going out and disrespecting black women left and right, going to prison, carrying a gun, shooting black men in the head, worshiping white people's products like they're gods. You know, they want you to think that that has no influence over our kids, when clearly none of them have studied psychology, because if you study psychology, you know that if you repeat something over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you're young and impressionable, what you're repeating is going to eventually affect you. It's going to define you, especially for a child. So what I would say is that you either have those people who refuse to acknowledge it, who are in denial, or you have the people who are woke. You know, being woke kind of means like, okay, well, you know what? If my 7-year-old goes to school every day and they're hearing their favorite artists saying Molly Percocet, Molly Percocet, Molly Percocet, Molly Percocet, like that song by the rapper Future, my child may grow up and say, what is Percocet? I want to try a Percocet, right? Just like, you know, A Different World. A lot of people will tell you to this day that they went to college, they went to an HBCU because of A Different World. There are lawyers out here who say, I went to law school because I saw Claire Huxtable. And then what'll happen is you'll have people that'll say, well, what's on TV shouldn't affect what you think. People like that don't understand anything about media, because if you look at the history of Hollywood and why the Jews invented Hollywood, they really pushed and developed Hollywood because they noticed that what they put on screen affects how people live. What they put out there in media affects what people think. What they put out there in media affects the morality of people. It affects their worldview. It affects their politics. So anybody who thinks media, mass media, and hip hop culture does not influence our kids is out of their damn mind. You probably don't even need to be here, because you're clearly not even intelligent enough to try to begin to process any of what's being said here. It doesn't mean you have to agree with everything. Doesn't mean you can't leave space for artists to be self-expressive and to say what they want to say. But at the same time, you got to have a boundary. So basically, the reason I came on here today is to talk about this article that I read in Time magazine. Basically, the Chinese government has said, hell no, you ain't doing this to our kids. You are not going to promote music in this country that is disrespectful to women. If you listen to lyrics now, it's like women get called bitches and hoes so much, you thinking that bitch and hoe is the same as woman. Like literally, even little girls don't even realize how insulted they're being, how insulting it is that these men are talking about you like this. They literally will make a song about raping you and chopping up your dead body and throwing you in the back of the trunk, and you'll be shaking your ass to the song because you don't know any better. That's insanity. That's crazy to me. That doesn't make any sense. And then at the same time, you've got music that celebrates the homicide of young black men. How are you going to run around talking about Black Lives Matter? Police, please don't shoot me. Don't shoot black people. Please don't shoot us. When you are celebrating artists who are happy to sing and dance about black men being shot in the head. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It looks dumb. It looks weird. It's confusing. It's contradictory as hell. It doesn't make any damn sense. So you can literally kind of go down the list and kind of point out. I heard this song by this guy. He's like one of those crazy idiots. I think he just got locked up. His name's Kodak Black. I think he just got put in jail for something. I forgot what. Let's see. The judge won't let him out because he wants him to learn a lesson. So anyway, Kodak Black. There was a song that I heard from Kodak. He's one of those mumble rappers. He's one of those guys that just kind of, like, just, I don't know. He's got a friend who knows how to make beats, and apparently, if you sound retarded on a beat, like, that'll help you make like $1 million. Like, literally, you can really sound retarded on the beat. Like, the song will be like, like, I'll be showing the girl, skirt, I'll be showing the her, I'll be showing the shot, why? I'll be showing the fry. Like, literally, there's literally no lyrical content whatsoever. Like, it literally is like the dumbest music ever. And what it does is what it's really doing is it's catering to a demographic of our community that has not been educated. Like, literally, think about this. It correlates with the fact that you have millions and millions of your children right now who are coming out of high school, who literally went to high school, got a diploma, and can't read, literally cannot read, can't go to McDonald's and tell you, which of those words says cheeseburger, cannot even, if you tell them, hey, I'm gonna give you 20% of $1 billion, how much will you have? They have no idea what that is. They might guess, like, I don't know, $1,000. literally don't know. So ultimately, and here's what's kind of happened. This has been in the making for a long time. They got these kids in the system. They're putting them on Ritalin at an early age, so they're giving their mama a check. I knew a young lady who told me that her sister had 5 kids, and the baby daddy got murdered and I think he had about 20 children. The baby daddy got murdered, and he had 5 kids with her, and every single one of those kids was getting a check from the government, and also medication. And my thought is like, I'm not really sure what kind of future those children can have, right? But that's what's kind of going on. That's what happens when you have your children inundated in this system. This system is going to ruin your kids, so you can't let the system raise your kids like that. You just can't. It's gonna destroy them. So anyway, I'm not here to just rant and sound like I'm, dissing every rapper that's out here. But what's interesting to me, the reason I brought this story up is because even the Chinese government is kind of looking at the stuff that we proudly consume. They're looking at the music that we love so much, and they're saying, we don't know if maybe this is a black thing. Maybe this is what black people like to do. Maybe they like to refer to their women as bitches and hoes. Maybe they like to, maybe they think it's enjoyable that their sons are being murdered on the street. Maybe they like that kind of thing. Maybe black people like to give all their money away. Maybe black people also enjoy hearing music that celebrates mass incarceration. Maybe black people want to be high and on dope, all the time. Maybe they like that. Maybe that's who they are. Maybe they want to be drunk and high constantly every day, but they're saying at the same time, they're like, you can do that over there, but you're not going to do that to our kids. Our children are our future. The Chinese government is saying our babies matter to us. We're going to protect our children. We protect our women. We love our women. We don't want our women to be disrespected in mass media like that. We will not allow that. Black people, for some reason, we think it's okay as long as somebody's getting a check. And I think that that's the problem. You really are trained. Unfortunately, many of us have been taught to believe that anything is okay as long as you're getting a check. And that's just the easiest way for you to get caught up in some of the dumbest situations ever. I talked to somebody today about that, another black man, actually, a very smart black man who works in the film industry. And we were talking about how people spend so much time wasting their lives, and how people spend, he said, sometimes, man, I can't even sit with some other brothers because all they want to do is sit around and talk about stupid stuff. He's like, all they want to do is talk about having sex, or talk about, the game that was on yesterday, or talk about, stupid stuff, smoke and drink all the time. He said, none of these things are ever going to help you have a successful life. He said, why do you want to sit around watching TV, talking about women, smoking and drinking constantly? Like, you'll never accomplish anything. Nobody will ever respect you. You'll never fulfill your dreams. You'll never get a chance to have wealth. You'll never get a chance to be successful in this world because you're sitting around smoking, drinking, talking shit about women, talking about what the Dallas Cowboys, or who's going to win between the Patriots and the Eagles, and that's all you talk about. He said, I can do that for about 5 or 10 minutes, but then eventually I'm going to want to read a book. He said, I like to read books. He said, and I think it's crazy that most of my black male friends don't want to read books. So what I really think that black men especially got to kind of think about is, you kind of they've really played a number on you. They really played a number on you. There's a lot of serious things happening in this world, a lot of extraordinary accomplishments that are occurring, a lot of money that's being made, a lot of important business deals that are being done, political moves that are happening. People are planning massive projects that are going to impact the world, and they don't even invite you to the table because they're like, no, he's over there with the niggas smoking, drinking, and talking about football and women. Like, those are all leisure-based activities. Those are all what they call pleasure-seeking activities. And an undisciplined man is a man who spends all his time sitting around seeking pleasure, as opposed to a man who says, okay, I had enough pleasure. That's all good, but I'm going to go out here and actually put in work so I can actually have something in this world, right? Ultimately, it's like, it's what I would call almost spiritually and psychologically obese. Psychological obesity is like an obese person. Think about an obese person. An obese person most of the time doesn't eat anything that a lot of regular people don't eat. Like, they might, regular people eat cheeseburgers just like the obese person eats cheeseburgers. Regular people eat ice cream like the obese person eats ice cream. What's the difference? Well, the difference is that the obese person doesn't know when to stop. The obese person is the person who will eat literally a gallon of ice cream every 2 days, or they will go get the Big Mac and the large fries and the strawberry sundae, and then go do it again that afternoon. The obese person is the one who won't even get up and walk up and down the steps because they don't want to do any exercise at all. They just want to sit around and eat and be lazy and do nothing, right? Whereas somebody else might say, hey, I ate a Big Mac, man. I need to go and jog around the block, or I need to make sure I'm walking to work so I can cut off a couple of these pounds. Or no, that's enough. I had a pint of ice cream. I don't need a whole gallon. Thank you, I don't need no more, right? I had a big slice of chocolate cake, but I can't eat the whole cake, right? So ultimately, that's the difference, right? So a lot of times you have people in this world who become spiritually and psychologically obese. Or psychologically obese person is a person that you know. Some of you might know somebody like that who literally every time they get any free time, they instantly turn that time into leisure. If they get free time, they're like, hey man, let's go to the club. Or hey man, let's watch the game. Let's watch TV. Think about how much TV black folks watch. We watch more TV than anybody else. That's psychological obesity. TV, literally, if you read up on it, study it. Watching television actually reduces your critical thinking skill. That's why most black people don't want to watch this podcast. And it's fine. I don't care if they do or not. But most black people cannot comprehend what I'm talking about because a lot of our people have been just brain melted from dumbed down media. A lot of them are just like, I don't even get what this guy's saying. He sounds judgy and, he sounds like he's preaching to me and all this other stuff. So they're not even prepared. Like it literally hurts their head to even try to process higher level thinking. So ultimately, what I think that people like myself are around to do is to talk to people who actually want to do something better, people who are trying to get out of the matrix, people who are looking around and saying, this shit don't make no damn sense. I think I want to do better with my life. I don't want to waste my time doing that. And these are the people I talk to. I'm not really here to talk to everybody. That's not really my objective. My objective is not to change the world. My objective is to change the individuals who might then go on and change the world. That's what the goal is. I'm leading the leaders. I'm not trying to lead everybody. I'm not cut out to lead everybody. I'm not a Barack Obama. I can't do that. So my point in all this is to say that, when you look at what's going on in China, the Chinese have basically said, no, not in our neighborhood, not in our house. Like this music, I know it's good, it's entertaining and all that, but y'all making jokes about the death of your own children. We don't do that. Y'all promoting like drug addiction. Do y'all know what drug addiction does? We're not going to do that. Y'all promoting, the disrespect of women. Why would you do that? We're not going to do that. Y'all promoting ignorance and people walking away from education. Don't you know you need education to survive? We don't do that. Y'all are celebrating the fact that you're giving away all of your money to these companies that care nothing about you. Oh, we don't do that. So we're not putting that stuff on our airwaves. And I think that for black people, it's the same thing. I think you got to say, not in our house. There's a lot of things that they can say about a black person on a record that they can never say about a Jew. There are a lot of things they would say about a black person on a record that they would never say about the Jewish community. The Jews would not allow it. Black people, unfortunately, have been trained to have no standards, trained to have no sort of expectations in terms of what we will and will not tolerate. Literally in their mind, they had niggas for sale in 1750 and they got niggas for sale in 2018. That's how they look at you. They're like, we can get you to do anything because we can control you with dollar bills like you're Pinocchio. That's how they look at you. That's why they don't respect you. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Somebody said, I read Miseducation of the Negro, and he talks about Negroes like you, sir. Or I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment. I can't even halfway tell. I'm literally just, if you came here to insult me, don't waste your time. Like, go insult somebody else, because I won't even get it. I'm literally focused, so I won't even understand I'll think you like me when you really hate me. So don't waste time trying to hate me. Focus on your family. Go see your girlfriend or something. So anyway, I'm going to go. I didn't want to do a whole podcast. I just want to do a quick video and talk about this. So you guys have a good day. And don't forget that you can actually join if you want to start learning about business and stuff like that. Join theblackbusinessschool.com. You can get started for free. Go to theblackbusinessschool.com. That's theblackbusinessschool.com. That way you can get basics on financial literacy, wealth building, stuff like that. So you guys have a good night. And I'm going to go hang out. I got a visit from my friend, filmmaker Tiara KJ Williams, a.k.a. Miss Black Hollywood. She came by. So I'm not going to be rude to my guests. And I'm going to go and talk to Tiara about filmmaking and Hollywood and, building for the next generation. So take care, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Be good. Peace.